Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into the Next Online podcast. We're very excited to do this
Welcome.
episode today. It's very different.
Very, very different. I'm super excited. I couldn't wait all day. I'm fired up.
So today I'm here with the co-host, Cesar Jimenez. I'm Karina Jimenez, the other co-host for the Next Online podcast. And we're going to tell you a little bit about how we started this podcast, background about ourselves, and just kind of get into our dynamic, because I think a lot of people don't really know what it's really like.
Which part? Like they don't know what?
That we're actually a father-daughter duo.
I'm
Right?
their father.
He is. That is my dad right there.
This is my little girl. I have 2 children. She's the oldest one. And she's awesome, super smart. And I can't, I'm super pumped, fired up. This was kind of like you get to go and do something with your own kid. It's pretty cool. Even though behind the scenes, sometimes she's snappy, but it's all good.
Just a little.
She's demands excellence. That's why. So I play too much sometimes. So that's why she kind of regulates the whole night. So
Yeah.
thank you for that.
No problem. He has to stay focused.
So fun facts, right? So how do you think we got started?
I think you came to me with the vision
Mhm.
of starting the podcast actually quite some time ago. And I think that you tell the story really well. So I think it dates back to me when I was just in college. I believe a junior in college is
That's
when you
right.
told me about this.
When I knew you were going to be marketing.
Yep. I was studying marketing at the time
That's right.
in undergrad, and you were like, I have this idea, but you weren't ready to launch it yet.
That's right. So there was always a little bit of master plan. Like I was like, man, because people always ask me, like, I've been in business for, I don't know, since 2004. And I was like, wow, if hopefully one of them out of the two would be interested in coming into the business. I wanted to make something, what could be attractive? Like what could be something kind of cool? And this is something I always had, was always get asked, like, who's going to take it over and stuff like that. If that, we don't know the paths of our kids, right? Things change all the time, especially teenagers. All y'all listening, you know what I'm talking about, right? So the North Star was always to get her to hopefully come work here and learn the business, as passionate as about this business, because it's a great business to be in. Then I learned she wanted to be in marketing. I was like, ooh, that's a big gap. We don't do marketing at all. We need marketing.
Yeah.
Right. I usually outsource and pay a lot of money for marketing. Right. So I was like, okay, immediately cost savings. Right. Right. So that was the strategy. However, the next in line name kind of came from, exactly that. Like who's going to like potentially long term, if this is something anybody wants to do, or, that would be the vibe was kind of created from there. Right. And next in line also is versatile. Right. So it's always something that, I'm big on. I've been in the business a long time now. I'm not the young guy anymore. Right. When I got into the business, and I remember, when I was in the business early on, that a lot of mentors, a lot of good things that I still remember today, a lot of friends that I made over the years really helped me kind of, skip chapters, right? Kind of take the guesswork out of stuff, give me a lot of advice. But there wasn't these podcasts in my time. I'm probably dating myself, right? There wasn't any podcast. I remember podcast craze. I can't remember when it started, but there was none of that stuff. And when this kind of platform craze, I was like, man, this would be kind of cool. But even before that, so I had that idea, but I actually wanted her, the plan was I wanted her to get a job. I was going to actually get her a job somewhere with either one of my clients or, an organization. So that way she might be able to gain some experience somewhere else first, right? Not make mistakes over here, right? Right. And, have her do all that kind of stuff. And then I was thinking about it. I was like, man, she's probably going to be siloed working at a job. I was hearing a lot of my friends that their kids, they were stuck in this one lane in corporate. So I was like, man, it's going to be hard for her to gain all that experience. I can't have her work 10 years. I'll be an old man by then. I'm tipping that right now. So over here in the entrepreneurial environment, she can wear, 17 hats a week, right? So you're going to gain a lot of experience quickly. And I'll tell you, like, she stepped in, and obviously I'm biased, right? And I try to not to be all the time, but she's extremely smart, very quick, very shocked me a lot. Not in a bad way. Not that I don't think you're smart or think that you're going to hit it out the park, but like I'm shocked a lot because I don't really. She beats me to the punch a lot of stuff. Like meaning, like I got to help her here. I got to ask her here. She's got a lot of answers. So maybe you were listening growing up.
Yeah, I think I did learn a thing or two.
Yeah. And you
Yeah,
basically grew up in the staffing industry.
I did. I did. I remember when he first started his staffing agency, ProSource IT, and I was what, 10? Younger?
10, yeah, probably
I was around I had
2010.
yeah, like I had memory, like a core memory is literally you starting it.
Yeah,
Yes, in the house.
that's right. But she also remembers like an
I
elephant,
do have
bro.
a really good memory though. That's
And
that's a
and
fun fact.
and sonic ears, like straight up. She can hear what's going on in Boca, like straight up. It's wild. And so that was the thing. Like I wanted to come. So she surprises me all the time. Like, and it's not easy being an entrepreneur, right? And she is started, after a year of being in ProSource, trying to help us just basically stand up our social media and all the website stuff and all that kind of stuff. She kind of just started pitching this, and I was like, you know me, I'm like, let's go, right? So I definitely see a massive future in marketing, and I think the podcast was a great platform, not only for us, but it's really about the community and paying it forward. Our mission is always going to stay the same, never going to change. It's about paying it forward, paying it forward in a way where we represent the workforce community, and we bring in a lot of leaders that have a lot of different perspectives, from CIOs to CMOs to CHROs, typically, right, in that area, a lot of leadership, and they go over a ton of different things, like what was their first IT job, or how did they get into marketing, or how did they fall in HR, or how did they get into the first C-suite, and it's pretty cool. You learn a ton. I'm learning a ton, and I've been doing this a gazillion years. I still learn a ton, and I could imagine, like, you're skipping chapters,
Yeah, I
right?
feel like I have like a front row seat to a bunch of mentors now because of the Next Online podcast. And I feel like the audience that we're trying to build, it's the same approach that we're trying to do for them is open up this community towards mentorship if it's not readily available to someone. Because you're able to just put on your headphones, kind of tune into the conversation,
That's
and
right.
you take a bunch of notes, mental notes, whatever you want, even use AI to do it.
That's a good point. I do want to take a quick sec just to like thank everybody that has dedicated time. A lot of really busy executives. We're very grateful
Yeah.
for them. Like right now, I think we've recorded. It's only been launched under 5 months, and I think we've already recorded over 50 episodes. And how many in the queue to record?
Oh, I don't even have a number, but it is a lot.
Yeah, it's
It is a
quite a
lot.
few.
Like, I think our 50th episode is scheduled for March.
That's gonna mean to drop the.
It dropped in March.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
wow,
it's
that's
crazy.
it's
And
unbelievable.
just in this month, we have our 25th episode today.
Okay, it's not recorded, but we recorded already. It's just more like
Putting it out
putting it out.
there.
So
Yeah.
we have so many that we've recorded. So you want to kind of explain the mythology, like how do you know, why do you take this long to post? And there's a science behind it.
Yeah. So I think from a marketing perspective, when we first launched a podcast, it was like, okay, we didn't know what the traction was going to be like in terms of getting guests and, people just saying yes to us, honestly. So our strategy was a little bit different when it came to posting and how we're going to build the awareness because we were only dropping 2 episodes a month. So the buildup of the pre and the post steps like were much longer and much more posts, honestly, per guest. But then as we started kind of picking up steam on the podcast, it's like, oh, wow, like we have so many more guests now in the queue and like not enough time to keep pumping them out. And we didn't want to miss the mark on anyone because everyone that is on this podcast needs to have an equal opportunity to being out
It's
there,
fair,
shown online, build that awareness for them because it's all about them too.
hundred
So
percent.
we kind of switched the strategy very quickly. And in marketing, it's, you got to pivot and kind of test out to see how that works and stuff. But we started pumping out, I think now because of the cadence of guests, um, 8 to 10 episodes a month. So we're dropping every Tuesday, tech leader and
Okay.
every Thursday, a marketing leader.
Oh,
So the pre-eps and the post-eps are going to be one per person, but we're posting every day of the week on LinkedIn, minus Saturday and Sunday. But
wow.
that's been kind of the strategy behind that now. And again, like you said, like there's a bunch of episodes that have already been recorded. We're just waiting to edit and put them out and, kind of catch up on that front. But again, when it comes in the new year, we'll rearrange and see and pivot and see
Hmm.
how we could make those adjustments um, to see how it performs. Because I mean, just so far, the audience tuning in, it's been great to see people listening in. The feedback that we're receiving is
I love
honestly
it.
very motivating.
It
Very, very
is.
motivating.
Yeah, actually, we had a couple of situations where, I'm like, how'd you hear us? They actually found us. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, really? I was like, that's pretty cool. I was like, and this is kind of getting started. So, I mean, I think the future's bright. And it's not, I don't take any type of credit for that. I mean, it's more about the guest, right? All the work that social craft is doing to make it right. And they very meticulous on making sure that they give everybody enough time. They want to make sure that they market it enough and they get enough airtime a day because everybody dedicated the same amount of time. So we're grateful for that. So actually, I'm looking forward to like almost getting people around too.
Yeah.
Like that's another thing we
Yeah, because
talk about.
it's crazy. I haven't told you, but I've had guests even be like, I'm super down to do a second episode,
I love it.
which is nice because we can get more perspectives, especially going into the new year and things are constantly changing. We know that in the workforce. So
Yeah.
that's going to continue growing the platform and hopefully everyone continues to learn as much as they can.
Yeah. I also think just to add that, I think it's also by default, we didn't realize this, but we started this, thought it was gonna be a slow start. Let's take it easy. But it just went like from 0 to 60 quick.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And also, I think the big thing that we're building that we may not have realized at the time is that we're actually building community. That's huge, right? So I get texts all the time, which is pretty cool. It's humbling. Like, they
Yeah.
send me the episode. They're like, man, that was good. Thank you. Um, it's just wonderful, and especially to do it with your own kid. Especially when it comes to little girl. You know how fathers are with the little girls, right? So part of it is like, also I get to see her every day, right? That's pretty cool. I don't have to worry about calling her. She's a couple offices down.
Yeah, but let's not get it wrong because he's so busy that we actually have to schedule this in advance, weeks in advance, just to get this episode on the books for you guys.
No, that's true. Yeah, or like you can plan your mother, be like, hey man, I can only talk to Pop like around 9 o'clock at night.
Yep, that's actually when we have our meetings.
And I get in trouble.
Yeah, because I'm tired. It's the end of the day.
So let me ask you a question. I haven't asked you this, but straight up, like, probably put you on the spot.
Oh, uh-oh.
Is it difficult working with your father?
It's difficult. I feel like a lot of people that are in a family business can kind of relate to this. And it is hard. It is.
Oh, I was like, that answer at first, I was like, what are you running for office? To be straight. Like, I was like, man, you could tell me straight up. It's okay.
No, it is hard.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I'm difficult sometimes, but I mean
but in the best way.
intentions.
In the best way.
Right?
Yeah. I feel like I've learned a lot because of that. And it honestly, you honestly develop thick skin very quickly, which I probably haven't told you that, but yeah, you do.
So do I. I love that part. Right. No, so let's talk some facts. Like what would you want to tell the community and stuff like that? Like what things that they might not know about me, and I'm gonna tell them things that they may not know about you. How about that? Is that
Okay.
cool?
Yeah.
A little game?
So things about him I may not know. Actually,
No, they might not know. You know.
no, yeah, I do know.
Okay.
So I think a lot of people don't know that he's actually very funny and likes to joke around a lot. I mean, those that are here in the office can see it, but I think that when you look at him, you're probably like, oh my goodness, he looks very just quiet, straightforward, to the point, strict, whatever. But it's not. Like he plays around a lot, funny, and has like this, I guess, jokester personality once you get to know him.
I've been told I'm a child.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
This past 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Fun facts about Karina you may not know. Well, I don't know if it call it fun fact, but I think the incredible discipline this she has. I mean, I don't know if you guys, just to be aware, like she's very committed at what she does. She's a 5:30 a.m. club gym in the morning, super disciplined. And like it's almost unbreakable discipline, which is great because it kind of motivates me too to stay locked in, right? And she's very diligent about her work. She takes it really seriously. And I'm proud of that. Those are fun facts. Let me see what else. She's also very, well, it's kind of obvious. She's kind of took after me a little bit on the vertically challenged. You know what I'm saying? It's not the, it's not going to be trying out for any basketball team soon, like me.
No.
But
Mm.
she packs a powerful punch.
Yeah.
Right. So she knows her stuff, and I'm really proud of her.
Wow, you hyped me up, and I'm over here saying you're a jokester. That was very nice.
You can't be like, business is tough. Entrepreneurship's like a roller coaster. There's days, but you just try to play around. I mean, what are we gonna do, right? You only live on this earth once. Might as well make it fun, right? And not be so serious, right?
Yeah, I agree.
What else do you think the community wants to know?
So actually, as you can see, he has a whole tattoo sleeve in the frame here. But we actually have matching tattoos. A lot of people don't know that.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, we do.
That's the only reason why I let her get one, because she sold me on it. So it says, if you guys can read it, right? There's just 2 letters. It says I-U. I love explaining the story. When she was little, I mean, still little, but when she was smaller, when, younger, real younger, like a baby, she couldn't pronounce the word. She couldn't say I love you. She said I-U. So to this day, the way we always say it, even in our family, like we always say I-U.
Yeah.
So we got that together. And she actually you sold me on that, right?
I did.
She did. So I was like, okay, yeah, you can get it. Because at first I was like, man, you can get a tattoo.
Yes and no. Well, so yes on that part, but also I had gotten one with Mom first. And then you were like, oh, I want a matching tattoo with you too.
I got jealous.
Yeah. He got FOMO.
Oh yeah, what is that?
Fear of missing out.
That's right. I was like, oh, you're hogging her.
Yeah.
Right?
He was like, no, I need a matching one. And then we came up with this concept, and it was.
And then your brother you guys got matching tattoos.
Yeah, our whole family, we all have matching tattoos.
We're a close-knit family. It's the 4 of us. It's great. It's a blessing, right? Super cool. And, it's just a way to express, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like another, I guess, creative outlet too.
Yeah, that's true. I like that. I like that. What else do you think here? Want to know? Let's say, what would you consider dynamic about the father-daughter duo?
I would say, like, besides it being hard, like I mentioned earlier, it's honestly really fun. I learn a lot from him, and I think I've learned from him my whole life, obviously, but from a business perspective, like you said, like I must have been listening. No, I actually was, and not just listening, but watching you build your businesses that you have and seeing that kind of growing up. It honestly instilled like that entrepreneurial spirit in me, which kind of motivated me to kind of go do my own thing. Which of course I'm still, working with ProSource and whatnot, but like I genuinely get to be independent when it comes to social craft in terms of learning that side and learning how to be, in charge of a lot of things that I didn't think I was going to be in charge of. And it taught me a lot, and it's still teaching me a lot. But I think I learned all of that from you and watching you and growing up in that environment.
It's cool to hear that, but like, honestly, guys, I mean, I'll tell you, like, this stuff that shocks me. Like, I know I didn't review this with her or talk to her about this, and it's great because I think the future is super bright, and she brings everybody has different skills, and I think she brings skills that the business needs that I don't have, right? Or they'll prioritize, and you bring that to the table. And I'll tell you, I've always been a fan of marketing.
Yeah.
If I had went to school, I would have probably been marketing.
Yeah.
Marketing's one of my favorite projects.
It is.
And I think marketing is just going to be bigger than ever, especially with the way the business is and the markets and, with AI. I think one of the deciders, or like one of the biggest factors, is how well can you go to market, right? And being the creativity, authenticity. And that's one thing I do like about what you guys are doing at Social Craft. Like, there is a lot of custom work, lots of custom work, like to the wee hours, perfectionist, right? So, and willing to take risks, which I like. So I'm looking forward to that and see how far that goes as well.
Yeah,
You know?
it's gonna be fun. And one thing I want to mention too is like I can't do it alone. I want to shout out my social craft team
Oh yeah.
and thanking him also for believing in us and constantly believing in us and all of our crazy ideas that we try to pitch to him. Because without it, I mean, it would be really difficult to kind of get there. So I think the support that I have from them and the support that I have from you, because it also motivates them to keep going and keep doing their thing. And we kind of see we have like this tunnel vision right now for 2026, and we're just trying to get through.
I like tunnel vision. So another thing I want to ask you on the spot. I
Mm.
like this one. I'm gonna start doing interviews real quick with you. So
Now he's the host.
yeah,
I'm the
I'm hosting
guest.
right now, so I'm gonna switch gears. I should switch to the side of so what is what would you say? Entrepreneurship is not easy. There's a lot of risk, right? What are you afraid of?
That's a good question. Definitely not afraid of failing because I know that that's how you learn.
Ooh, I like that one.
I think for me personally, and this might be a little bit out there, but I I'm a type of person that I like to achieve my goals. And when I don't achieve my goals, I think that's what I'm afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
Is kind of letting myself down or letting others down when it comes to that because I like you said, perfectionist sometimes with a lot of things, and especially when it comes to my business and executing things for you or even for my clients, like that's the number one thing that I always try to strive for. But not everyone's perfect, and you learn along the way. But I would say, yeah, that's I
That's
guess that's
interesting.
the fear.
That's so also something that's not easy to do is podcasts, right?
Yeah.
So you jumped right in. You didn't really kind of like blink at it. You didn't argue about it. You just like, let's do it. Like, what made you like jump on it?
Well, honestly, I was talking about this with a guest, and they were like, um, "How long you been podcasting for?" I was like, "I just started like
A few
a
months.
few months ago." But when you first asked me, I thought we were just going to be doing the marketing side of Next Online. And
That's
then
right.
you kind of like flipped the script a little bit and we're like, hey, when you launch in August, like, why don't you become a host and start doing the marketing track? And at first I was like, you know what? That's a little different for me, like talking a lot online. I mean, I already do it on for content on
Mm-hmm.
social craft side and just in general, even personally. But I think that I was willing to step out of my comfort zone when it came to that
Mm.
because I was able to learn. I had the opportunity to get, like I said, that front row seat to learn from a ton of leaders on a day-to-day basis that I wasn't doing before.
Yeah. That's probably that's one of the underlying like peripheral benefits is I always tell the guests I thank them because like we learn a ton. It's like almost getting free advisory services, right?
Yeah.
They love sharing and teaching and kind of sharing a ton of things that kind of help me in my business today, which is awesome. And the relationships, I like that.
Yeah, because you
Be
actually end
genuine.
up genuine relationships. Like we said, this is like a community that has really been bridging together over the past few months. And like obviously we're still connected with a lot of the first guests that were
Oh yeah,
on the podcast, and we're still connected. I have a bunch of people now that they're like, okay, when I'm in town I'm going to see you, or
I love
when you
that
come
part.
over here I'm going to see you, because we're building this sense of community. And like the fact that we're doing it online now, it's like taking that relationship and seeing them in person, and now you have someone that you could rely on.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you this. Like for me, like one thing that I learned during this podcast, um, in general, like it when you have a podcast, and it's not just jumping on and recording, right? There's a process, right?
Mhm.
And we meet, we prep, and like weeks before,
Yeah.
right? And there's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes to get this thing, out launched, right? Like episodes launched and everything. Um, it becomes pretty intimate, like me with your guest, right? You're asking a lot of questions that could be perceived as uncomfortable, but like what's cool about our guests, they have the courage to kind of like share lessons learned. They're not, they share those things because who it may benefit. That's how they pay forward, right? That might resonate with somebody, it might click with somebody. Like, you know what, I often find myself just writing notes. I feel bad because I'm like this sometimes, right, looking down writing, but I'm just writing nuggets. I get so many, I call them nuggets all the time. and a lot of good quotes. Ooh.
Ton of good quotes.
And now we turned those quotes into like, what's it like? Fridays?
Pay it forward Fridays.
Pay it forward Fridays.
Literally, my shirt says pay it forward.
Yeah, I didn't get it. She didn't get me one. That's fine. I mean, that's what happens sometimes. But that's the benefits of it. So like we're having a blast doing this stuff. It's cool, and I can't be proud enough. Like you're doing with your kid. Especially for me, a dad. And how I am. Right, people that know me. She's my little girl. Right, that's big for me. Right, and it's I don't want to let her down in this. Right. So I got to make sure that I'm on my A game and she's doing her thing. But I really, with her, it's like I don't have to do much of anything, right? Kind of easy growing up with her, like raising her too. Like she was a good student, right? Yeah, she was. Good athlete. People don't know that.
Yeah.
Real good athlete. Check it out. You should post that on on the channel or chat or whatever, right? She used to be a flyer with Top Gun cheerleading. I used to have a heart attack. She would be the one they throw in the air, like flipping and crap. And I'm like, me and her mom are like this. My wife, there's no way. It was scary. It was really scary. I don't know how we went there, but
I don't know how we went there either. At the athlete.
The who?
You said athlete.
Athlete.
But again, it's like, it all goes back to what you're saying though. The athlete's mindset too is what kind of applies. I think that's also a big core for me growing up, is the fact that I was able to do sports and you guys supported me on that. Being an athlete and doing my thing has taught me a lot of things that translate into how I am in business and in the workforce and dealing with people and the discipline of my schedule and having all these things set because of that. So.
Oh yeah. And it wasn't part-time, guys. She had to homeschool.
I did. And
her training was probably from 5 to 10 o'clock at night, probably 6 days a week.
Yeah.
It made my baseball guys, like they ran circles around them as far as the amount of training and commitment. It's hard. It was hard.
It was hard.
You gotta give a shout out to your mama.
Yeah. She was there with me through it all, traveling all over the world.
Out of control.
Crazy.
I went this way with my son.
Yeah.
Playing baseball and she was with her mama. It was wild. Like, and so they sent each other videos, and once in a while I had the opportunity when Tony wasn't playing the tournament, I would go.
Yeah. Right. And you guys would go straight from the field.
Oh yeah, that was interesting. That was fun. In 2 years, where do you see next in line?
Ooh, boom. That's a good question. Well, my team knows this for sure, and the people that know me, I dream big, right? I like to dream big, and I see next in line really taking off, and we're expanding beyond just the tech and marketing leaders. I think I see it kind of going into different tracks all across the different business functions, because I feel like that's also very important to have, because no matter what industry you're in, you got to know all the core business functions.
Very good. Dang, that was good. My bad.
But it's true, you do, because that is like the core of what makes up, anything that you do in your day-to-day job. For real. You see, I can't have a serious conversation.
How are you? Man, I just learned. Let me write that down.
But anyways, I see it kind of expanding into those different, I guess, pillars.
Yeah.
In that way, because not everyone is going to be in the same industry. They can learn from different leaders.
Absolutely.
And I see it kind of going across all industries, all functions, different leaders from the C-suite level to the VP, directors, like kind of all expanding, because there's different levels and different perspectives along the journey. And I think that's very important. And I think also in 2 years, we'll see more probably Gen Z or next gen leaders kind of stepping into the space for sure, which is going to be cool, because this is all catered to the next gen. So I'd say Gen Z leaders are already kind of here, taking some leadership roles in 2 years, even more. Mm-hmm. Now they pay it forward to the next generation that comes after them. And we continue that cycle of pay it forward and the mission behind Next in Line.
I love that. So let me see. I'll try to answer 2 years from now. 2 years from now. Well, I will tell you something that that I kind of learned, or by like that kind of happens. As a father, business owner, managing and all that stuff like that, you always want to. I'm trying to I gotta make sure that I teach her, and I gotta make sure that she knows, or whoever it may be, right? Not just my daughter, but like my team members, right? Employees. But through this process of me trying to be this mentor, right? I'm not even, I can say it because this is our podcast. So I can say, I'm not bullshitting when I say this. I've learned a ton from her. Like I learned a lot. I was like, damn, man, I wasn't like that at 24. I would say definitely chapters ahead of where I was at the time frame. And it's pretty cool. Like, cause it's a lot of responsibility. And she didn't say no, right? She didn't shy back from it. I think I said, oh, you're going to host now, right?
Yeah, you were
I
like,
didn't
you're going to be
ask.
a host.
And then she
It
was
was
like,
not
okay, let's do it.
I was like, okay, sure. Why not?
So something I always pray for in general, like if I had to like, you know, my wish list or what do I want people or her to take from this is I don't want ever her to have any limitations, right? I don't want fear. I don't want her to think or care what anyone says about opinions. It doesn't matter. It's about what you believe, right? And that's what I want. I mean, that's the biggest thing because, you know, those type of things in this world, like they just distractions. And as long as you believe and you're trying to do the right thing, like our thing, our focus is the mission is to pay it forward. You know, I don't care if I'm the number one podcaster in the world or the most articulate man in the world. I care about making sure we pay it forward to people. That's my mission. Like that's what I'm doing it for, right? Yeah. I'm not doing it for commercials. I'm not doing it for, you know, accolades, right? I do it for an example for my little girl, and hopefully she could take something from that, and our guest. That's number one, and the community, right? You know, our community listeners, which are our workers, and in the staffing business, I keep on saying this since I learned when I got into the business in 1996, was the workers are the lifeblood of our business, right? And that's number one. And how can you help them? Like, you know, you talk about like I always try to encourage people to listen because you get to hear a CIO talk about what do they like in team members, what kind of advice they have to, you know, how do you get tapped on the shoulder for the next step? What kind of advice would you give somebody that just got their first chance to be in the C-suite, right? Great open-ended, raw, like answered, no frills questions. Like I love it, right? What lessons learned? We have a lot of, you know, pretty cool individuals. And I think every one of them shared lessons learned, which is sometimes you're kind of guarded there because you don't want everybody to know stuff, but like that's the environment we want. It's okay to share that. It's okay to share lesson learned. You never know how it resonates with somebody. It may click with somebody. And, you know, hats off to them because, you know, they're not listening to judgment. They're confident. They're within themselves, right? To know that those lessons are things like failure. You have to fail because it's part of the way to success.
Yeah.
You cannot just succeed and it doesn't happen like that. It just doesn't happen, right? You know, there's obstacles, setbacks, different things, crooked. Like success is like a crooked line like this, right? Sometimes you get to see it back, right? You know, things like that, right? But it's never a perfect line. And that's what I love about the people that we host. They mention those things. They talk about those things and they share. And that resonates with people. It certainly resonates with me. Right. So it kind of reminds me, sometimes they tell you things that you kind of know, but you get reminded about it. And sometimes you needed to be reminded about it during that time. Right. Because you can't remember everything.
Yeah.
You
that's
know?
true.
So this is like a next in line to like, and you can tell your friends, like say this age group, whatever, Gen Z, you call it. Well, I would say that this is like raw education, like real, not textbook. This is real life education. And I would take advantage of every single episode, you know? So that's why we designed it that way.
Yeah.
So we have IT community, we have marketing community, and now we have just launched, the HR community. So we're going to get a bunch, you know, our friends at SHRM, a bunch of CHROs and just HR leadership to kind of talk about their path, their journey, you know, what's next, future HR. So for anybody that's aspiring in that sector. We have 3 different verticals to basically, tap in real quick to listen in.
So that was a little bit about us individually, our dynamic. And I hope you guys learned a lot about the Next Online podcast today and how it's originated, a little bit about our stories. And I hope it resonated with our community and you guys got more insight behind the why. And we definitely hope to kind of show you more in the new year as we go into 2026. And we're definitely going to do round 2 of this episode and check back in.
Love it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Good job.